Improving your sleep, your rest, your energy is vital for competing in the race of life. Even improving your sleep by 10% can have a big impact on your productivity, your willpower, your awareness, your sleep, that business you're trying to build. It can improve all areas of life if you have enough sleep, if you know how to get better sleep. You see, when I used to work like 10-hour shifts a day, I'd work the 10-hour shift, work out after, right? And then I'd come home, it'd be like 11 p.m., 12 p.m., and I still have to like do work on my computer with like all the blue light in my eye. No wonder I couldn't fall asleep. I'd go to sleep and I had all these thoughts running through my mind. And I'd wake up the next day and no wonder I'm snoozing my alarm. I'm late to work now. I didn't even get to do my morning routine. And I feel like shit. Gotta go drink some coffee now since I'm all tired. You have to know how to manage your sleep right. Our bodies and our mind need rest. It's not just a thing that we do to log out. It's a necessity for life. The more recovery, the more sleep you get, the better sleep you get, the better your life will be. Like the more lively you will be. Have you ever, like, during my high school years, I would always I'd get like 6 hours of sleep or less than that every single night for months straight. I'm all fucked up in the head. I'm not doing that well in school, like my brain's here and there. Sleep is so important for you. And I'm here to give you 8 simple methods on how to better your sleep and improve your sleep and how to not be tired when you wake up in the morning. These strategies I've laid out for you will be really easy, really simple. There's nothing that you really need to buy. It's things that you can just add into your day that won't really need much effort. You can just add these things into your day and you'll just get better sleep. I'm not here to say to get this supplement, or take this, take that. That's not what this is about. This is about adding these things so it feels effortless just so you can get better sleep. Number 1 is gonna be my mana potion. I call it a mana potion just because that's just what I call it, but I drink this every single morning, like when I wake up. As soon as I wake up, I go downstairs and I make this drink. It's so simple. It's literally just filtered water, lemon juice, chlorophyll, and sea salt. It's as simple as that. I try to get a good 32 ounces around that, and I drink even more than that after that, because in the morning you wouldn't drink as much water as you can. Why I made this potion is because number 1, you just need water in the morning. You need as much water as you can before you go out and do whatever. And what chlorophyll does, it pretty much stimulates your blood flow. It gets the blood pumping and it kind of flushes away the bad shit. It's all in your gut and your body. And what salt does is it holds water. So the more salt you have, you need salt, right? A lot of the times when people have a headache, 85% of headaches are caused by low sodium. So in the morning, if you have a headache when you wake up, instead of drinking the coffee, put some salt in your water. And then with the lemon, it pretty much alkalinizes the body, because if you have a lot of mucus in your throat when you wake up, you're a little bit stuffy, like drinking the lemon can kind of take away most of it. And you'll feel fresh and alive. Drink this every single morning, because literally after I drink a 32 ounce of this, like I feel so much better. I feel like I'm ready. Even if I'm tired, even if I get less sleep, drinking this every single morning has helped me tremendously. Like have more energy when I go out and do things and not feel as tired. Number 2 is going to be holding off your caffeine. A lot of times when we wake up, we're tired, we're looking forward to drinking that cup of coffee. But what you don't realize is drinking it right away and not holding it off can actually leave you to have a crash later in the day. And then the next morning when you wake up, you'll feel tired because your body wants that caffeine. No wonder you feel groggy, you feel like you need the cup of coffee. So pretty much like in the basic terms, right? There's this thing called adenosine, and it's like a chemical in our brain, right? That it's like the sleepy chemical. And when we wake up, adenosine starts building up. And eventually, like what caffeine does, it blocks adenosine from us feeling tired. And so when you block out the adenosine with the caffeine, it's like it blocks the adenosine, so you don't feel tired. Then once the caffeine wears off, you feel all the adenosine flush into you and you feel this big ass crash. So what you want to do is wait 2 hours. Andrew Huberman, he says, wait 90 minutes to 120 minutes after waking to have your caffeine. It's okay to have caffeine, but have it 2 hours after. So in the morning, you're not feeling tired. You're not feeling like you need to go and grab the kettle. Number 3 is going to be the meals before bed. What you eat before bed. A good night of sleep is not just what happens during the sleep and what happens after sleep. It's what happens before the sleep that you can prepare yourself. Eating huge meals before bed, like if you eat an hour before bed, even 30 minutes, like back when I used to work a lot during the night times, I used to go to the gym after work, and then I'd hit Wawa, and I'd get like a quesadilla, I'd get a smoothie, and I'd down it like 30 minutes before I go to sleep. And then the next morning, I'm so tired. Even though I got 9 hours of sleep, I'm still so tired because your body needs time to digest. It needs time to, because when you're sleeping and you have a big meal in your stomach, the body's not allowing your body to rest and your mind to rest. It's trying to digest the food first, and then it gets the rest. Especially having high carbs before you go to bed can really be detrimental. Even though carbs release serotonin, which leaves you feeling a little sleepy and lethargic, it's not gonna be good because your stomach takes time to digest like carbohydrates, especially the refined ones. Like when I eat the quesadilla, I see a quesadilla from Wawa, like my stomach would always try to like take its time to digest that, and I just try to go to sleep. I wouldn't get like any good sleep at all. What you can do instead is, here's what I do. In the book, The 4-Hour Body by Tim Ferriss, he talks about, he did a lot of sleep tests, and what he said was eating a high fat, high protein meal 3 hours prior to bed. So that's within a span of 3 hours before you go to bed, eat a high protein, high fat meal. What I do is I do yogurt, and I just throw a bunch of protein powder in it before I go to bed. It's like, I eat it 2 hours before bed usually. What this pretty much does is like, it kind of knocks you out. He said it acts like a tranquilizer. So I've been eating yogurt and protein every single night, and my sleep has been way better getting into sleep. Like my thoughts aren't really racing at night anymore. Also too, what you can do is, have you ever woken up and you just feel like shit, even after 9-10 hours of sleep? You've done everything right, but you just feel so drained. A lot of the times, it's your blood sugars at its low. So in 4-Hour Body by Tim Ferriss, it talks about eating almond butter or something that will kind of boost your blood sugar before you go to bed and regulate it. Not boost it, but regulate it. So almond butter can really help this. What I do is with my yogurt and my protein, I just throw in some almond butter in there too, 1 hour, 2 hours before bed. And it helps with sleep. It knocks me the fuck out. Number 4 is going to be lowering your body temperature. I'm gonna try to make it make sense, right? When you go to bed and you're all hot, you're all sweaty, it's hard for our body to heal and rest. Because our body needs to be cool, it needs to rejuvenate, it needs to cool down so we can actually get some efficient rest. When we're all inflamed, when we're all like hot and sweaty before we go to bed, you're not gonna get the best sleep. Have you ever like woken up with like hot sweats, like you're sweating at night and like you just can't sleep because it's so hot in your room? So what you can do with this is, the specific temperatures in the 4-Hour Body, what it said was 67 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't really measure my bed temperature. So what you can easily do is I put my bed next to my window, and I'll even show you, right? I kind of creak open the window a little bit, like a couple hours before bed, just so my bed can get nice and cool before I jump in. What also helps is taking a cold shower or a cold bath. I know no one really takes cold baths, but like what you can do is take a cold shower instead to kind of, so what that does is like it shocks your body, then your body kind of cools itself down. It gets less stressed and you feel like way more calmer after a cold shower, and then you get right into bed. What this will do is lower your temperature, so when you get into bed, you're at the right amount. Because like, have you ever, like the cold pillow, have you seen like a meme? It's like, oh, like when the pillow is nice and cold, like you flip it over, it's nice and cold. Like when I get into my bed, it's like freezing. Like I love it so much. So try to make sure your bed is nice and cool and your body's nice and cool. You don't want to be all inflamed and stuff like that before you go to bed. Number 5 is going to be light cues. With this, a lot of times in our society, we live with like our phone screens, our computer screens, all these screens emitting blue light, even the LED lights that you have. A lot of the times our bodies don't know when to start shutting down, and they don't know when it's time to rest, because we constantly have this light emitting in our eyes. Like, okay, because what happens is when you have a lot of light during like nighttime, when you're trying to go to bed, no wonder you're up all night. I used to, like, before I go to bed, I used to like scroll on TikTok for hours with like full brightness. My whole room is dark. Your whole room's dark, and your phone, you're just looking at your phone before you go to bed because you're trying to, wind down. But what you don't realize is the reason that you feel so awake is because the blue light emitting from your phone. Put your phone down. What I do is I put my phone across the room. I don't even go on it before I go to bed. Like an hour and a half before bed, I shut my phone off and put it across the room, set my alarm. And so what I do instead is I don't have a lamp. So what I'll really do is I'll have my red lights on, like get your LED lights and turn them to red, because what that red exposure does is releases melatonin in your eyes. So I'd say 4 or 5 hours, even 3 hours before bed, just flick on your red lights. Why not? And I also have a ring light next to my bed, and it's like my lamp. And what I'll do is like I'll shut all my lights off, maybe put my red lights on, and just so I can still work a little bit, I can maybe read. I kind of dim down like my ring lights lighting, and before I go to bed, I turn it off. And then as I'm in bed, to wind down is I read a fiction book. I have a Kindle. And so what I do is I have it always on the lowest brightness. It's like I read a fiction book before I get to bed. I'm like in bed 1 hour before I want to be asleep. So I usually want to be asleep by 10. I'm in bed by like 8:39. And so I turn all my lights off in my room, and I just have my Kindle on like the lowest brightness. There, you'll see. See, it doesn't have blue light, by the way. But yeah, you can see it's not really that bright. It's like the lowest brightness. But as I'm sitting there, it's not emitting blue light or anything like that. So it really allows me to shut down my body. Just before you go to bed, 3 hours, I'd say 4 hours, start dimming down your lights slowly but surely. Turn this light off. Turn this light off. Start turning down the brightness on your phone, on your computer before you go to bed. There's actually this application that I usually use. It's called Flux. And it's on my computer, and what it does is automatically like just dims down the blue light automatically. And it's a free software, and I suggest you use it because it's so helpful. It turns off all the blue light, and by like 6, it's like 5 p.m., 6 p.m., it turns off all the blue light. And so I can still work, but it's like all that light is not shining in my eyes anymore because of this software. So it's called Flux, and I'll have it in the link in the description if you want to go check it out. Number 6 is going to be looking at the sun. This kind of ties in with the light cues, because looking at the sun, this really means in order to get efficient sleep, when you wake up, go out and look at the sun for a minute or two. That's really all it is. Getting good sleep is not just about what you do before and after. It's what you do the morning before you go to sleep that night. So it's literally the same thing with the light cues. What it does is when you look at the sun, when you wake up, it allows your body to be like, okay, in 16, 17 hours, I'm gonna start shutting down, or 15 hours from now, I'm gonna start shutting down so I can go to sleep again. Your body's timed. Your body's a vessel, and it kind of works in cycles. It has like this balance mechanism. It releases like when you look at the sun, it allows your body to release cortisol in a healthy manner. So it's not releasing cortisol at 8 p.m. at night, 5 p.m. at night. It's releasing cortisol when you most need it, when you most need to be more alert and aware. Looking at the sun also releases dopamine. It releases a healthy amount of dopamine, so it keeps you motivated. And like even if you go outside and it's like cloudy, the sunlight is still out there. If you can see light coming through the clouds, or if it's still gray out, there's still sunlight out. You just gotta look up at the sky for like a minute or two. It's so easy. In the morning, before you go anywhere, or even as soon as you wake up, go outside, drink your water, drink your mana potion, and just look at the sun. What I do is like when I drive to work, when I usually wake up, the sun's not out. It comes out like an hour later, which is fine. So like when I'm driving to work, I usually roll down my window and the sunrise is coming up. I usually just look at it for a little bit. I'm still driving, of course, but I look at the sun to kind of time my body. Also times your melatonin. Like I said with the red lights, looking at the sun really times your melatonin production. It kind of times it later. Okay, in 10 hours, 12 hours, I'm going to start releasing melatonin. I'm going to start shutting down to go to sleep again. Our bodies are they're so amazing at doing those things, and we kind of like neglect that. We have to really roll with our vessel. We have to understand and hear our vessel. When it's time to go to sleep, go to sleep. What are you doing? Get off your phone, stop scrolling, and just go lay in bed. I used to have so many thoughts running through my mind at night before I went to bed. And it was because I wasn't getting proper sleep. I wasn't priming myself to get good sleep. And of course, we have our own issues in life. We have this and this and that. We have this event. But just do one of these methods that I told you. Start adding them slowly but surely, and you'll start getting better sleep. Number 7 is going to be breathing exercises. Because when we go to sleep, we want to be nice and calm. We want to be nice and cool. So I'm going to give you 2 right now. The first one's going to be a double inhale, 1 long exhale. So make sure when we do this, we're breathing all the way through our stomach. Especially if you're a guy, breathe all the way down to your balls. Make sure they're moving. So I'll do it with you. See, what I did there was I did one long inhale until I feel like I couldn't anymore. I waited a second and I did one sharp one right after that. And then I waited a couple seconds and I let it all out slowly but surely. Do this a couple times before you go to bed. I do this in the morning and at night because it kind of calms me down and primes my mind. But this exercise is really good. It really helps me to stay calm. It kind of makes sure, it kind of leaves me more aware and my mind's not as racing, it's not as running anymore. The other one is going to be the box technique. So it's literally 4-second inhale, hold for 4 seconds, 4-second exhale, hold for 4 seconds, and you just repeat that. So I'll do it with you. Kind of count in your head, 1, 2, 3, 4. And just do that over and over. This will allow you to be more mindful of your breaths, but allow you to calm down and kind of stop being so in your head. Number 8, the last one is going to be go to bed at the same time every night. We don't have a lot of the times people just don't have the regular sleep schedule. They don't have, okay, I go to bed this time, I wake up at this time every single day. Usually what makes us do that is our jobs and our school and our activities. It's crazy because the only reason I wake up at 6 a.m. is so I can do my morning routine before I go to work. If I didn't have to go to work, I don't even know what time I'd wake up at. I don't even know. Even for school, the only reason I'm waking up at 7 o'clock is so I can go into school at 7:33. And I'd still be fucking late. You have to recognize that when we pick a time to wake up, it's not just for, to go to work or to go to school. It's so we can prime our bodies and set a time that's perfect for us to wake up. Go to bed at the same time. What I suggest you do is this. Let's think about this, right? I wake up at 6. I want to go to bed by 10, asleep by 10. But I'm going to be in bed an hour and a half before that so I can prime my body to be asleep. What I used to do is I have school tomorrow to wake up at 6:30. Okay, I need to be in bed. I need to be in bed at 10:30. No. Because if you're in bed by 10:30, you're probably not going to fall asleep till an hour later. And then what? It's 7 hours of sleep. So really try to get 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Because the more sleep you get, the better your life will be. Like, sleep is something that's so neglected in our society. No one really recognizes it. It's such a normal thing that no one really says okay, how can I improve sleep? People love sleeping. I used to take naps after school every single day. But I don't take naps anymore because it kind of ruins your sleep schedule. We have to recognize sleep as not just a time to get away. It's literally just a time to rest our bodies. It's part of our life. It's a necessity. It's not just something that we do. It's a necessity for us. So I hope this video has helped you. Go out and get better sleep. And let me know if you try any of these and let me know if it worked. And don't forget to continue your journey and keep moving forward. Thank you.